Come on, me!
Here's your superpowers, Ming.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Stephen, the father of the bride. I was the one at the front of the church who didn't know his left from his right. Traditionally, the father of the bride speech is the first of the speeches. It's a bit of a warm-up act for the groom and the best man. It's something not to be enjoyed, but instead something to be endured. I think I can manage that.
You did it well.
It says here, I'd like to thank everybody for coming, but I'm going to change that to, I'd like to thank most of you for coming. Thank you for coming, being part of today, especially those who've travelled. Kate's family, they've come from north and south, and abroad with family from France and Australia. I was told that Gaz is the traveller in his family, having escaped Hinckley for Burbage. But apparently this isn't true, with family travelling here to be today from the United States. We've also got friends who've travelled down from Scotland.
Yes!
I'm not sure that's really a separate country, but
Oh, it is!
and also travelled from Switzerland to be with us today. Okay. You might not all know, but this is also Christine's and mine wedding anniversary today. We were married. We were married 28 years ago today in St Catherine's Church, where we've all been earlier today. So.
Christine! One kid taking her out somewhere else.
Right. Two people who aren't here with us today are Christine's parents, Kate's granddad Roland and grandma Catherine. They love Kate very much and would have been so proud of what she's achieved, and especially today. And harking back to that 28 years ago, for Christine's and my wedding, for anybody who wasn't in that church today, those who were there will remember Roland's superb speech and his bursting into several different languages at once as he greeted the foreign visitors. He said to the Australians, "Good day," and to the French, "Hello, hello." So I'm not going to do that, but I will say I'd like to welcome Gaz's overseas family in the traditional greeting of the US of A, which is,
Are you talking to me?
and also to our friends from Scotland, Ochai the New, and Switzerland is a bit more tricky because they don't know which language they speak, so it's a case of bonjour, guten tag, and buongiorno. Take your pick.
That's an obscure.
Okay, right. A little bit of history about Kate. Let's start at the beginning. Sorry, this is going to go on for a while. I'm terribly sorry. Kate was always very independent. For example, when we used to drop her off at nursery, the other children would be really clingy to their parents and not want to go in. Kate would immediately run off to get involved with and often run the day's activities. We were so proud of her. And then the time came to pick her up, and all the other children would run up and hug their parents and give them a loving kiss. Kate would be hiding under a table, arms tightly wrapped around a table leg, screaming that she didn't want to come home. At this point we were slightly less proud. She loved learning at school, loved to read and draw, and had beautiful handwriting. Also, she picked up music at school, and when the day came to go along and pick her instrument, Christine took her up to school, and I said, "Bring her back with anything except a cello." I was hoping for a flute or a clarinet, something like that. But Christine and Kate came back having picked up the cello. And she studied for several years, played in concerts at De Montfort School a number of times, sorry, De Montfort Hall a number of times, left the cello on the bus, which we had to go and find. And she started to get really serious. So we changed the car so that we could fit the cello in the boot without putting the seats down. At this point, having changed the car, she decided to give the instrument up. Also part of growing up, she had many visits to the family in France, spending time out there, horse riding classes, spending 6 weeks in school, becoming what we would call fluent in French. Even if over there it was the equivalent of a Geordie accent, but okay. And also sports started to play a big part in Kate's life. When we moved into our house, I put up a basketball hoop in the garden. Regulation height, 10 feet high. You have to do these things properly. That's a little bit difficult for a 6-year-old. And some people thought it was cruel. But it helped to become the really good player that she did. Then Kate developed her interest in rugby. She was picked for the region for the East Midlands in her first season, which shows that they recognise the talent in her. Because in her first year, and East Midlands, that's one step below representing your country in ladies rugby, so that's pretty impressive. To be honest, that was a little bit too early for her, and she struggled at regional level, but she continued to represent the county for several seasons, so she did really well. Of course, one Christmas she was having a charity game, the team was playing against the men. What could possibly go wrong? And she injured her hand making a tackle. She shattered various bones, disconnected tendons, and wound up with plates in her hand. Well, she did love the morphine that they gave her. But it did lead to her early retirement from the game of rugby. Not that she's not involved in it now, as you all know, but... Okay, meanwhile, back to school, Kate had good exam results, with the worst GCSE result being a B. Although she wasn't what you could call a SWAT, she was able to focus on studying to pass her exams close to the time, but without compromising on her social life at all. And then after her GCSEs, she went off to Leicester College to do a fashion design qualification, also staying at Hinckley's John Cleveland College to do her A-level French, which was tricky balancing the two, as she could only get to half the French lessons, and the teachers said it couldn't be done, but she still managed to get one of the highest grades in a year. Yeah. Anyway, so
Sacre bleu.
she finished her course. Then after that, it was obviously thinking about university, and with as per her qualifications, she picked a course in business fashion, which was her ambition. We sorted out a university and accommodation for her, all ready to go. But then we found a fantastic opportunity. George, the Walmart Asda clothing brand, offered almost exactly the same course, at the same university, but paid her while she was studying. Fantastic. Whether successful with them, would come out with valuable work experience and no debt. And it was a lot less expensive for me as well. So obviously there's a lot of competition for this sort of position, but Kate worked very hard to get chosen with over 1,000 applicants and only 4 roles. But as I guess most of you know, she got in and hasn't looked back since, so well done there, Kate. A benefit of this really came home to Kate when she had to speak to graduate applicants at a careers fair, with graduates several years older than her and being envious of what she'd already achieved. Part of her induction with the George chain was she had an induction in a store, and she had to go around wearing a badge that said "Happy to help," but she said I wasn't. Obviously it was very hard. They wanted their pound of flesh, and it was hard juggling university studies with a full-time job. And she'd come to me and say she had to submit a 4,000-word essay, and I'd say, well, do you need help padding it out? And Kate would reply, no, I've got 7,000 words, you need to cut it down for me, but don't lose anything. And also, one task given to Kate, it was a product sales promotion in Wales during the Six Nations rugby tournament. And while she was there, in the store, was Sam Warburton and George North. They were there promoting products for another organisation. Kate hijacked them. And she sold all of her allocated merchandise in double quick time. I'm not sure what Sam and George thought about being hijacked, but unfortunately they couldn't be here today, they said.
They would be allowed in anyway.
And although, obviously, as I say, it was a lot of hard work and long hours, I think Kate's always also found it enjoyable because it's involved a fair bit of shopping at her own and at competitor stores, which is no hardship for Kate, who'd frequently come home with armfuls of shopping, claiming to have had a hard day. This is anyway, Kate completed a degree and she moved into a role project managing the opening of new and refurbished stores, with lots of time out on the road. So I think Gaz misses Kate when she's away, although when she gets home he's soon thinking, when's she going away again? Yeah. We've always loved you, Kate, and you've given us so many reasons to be proud of you. Yeah. Anyway, on to Gaz. Let's talk about Gaz. The first indication I had of Gaz, I've got to go back to a Sunday morning when I was watching Harry play youth rugby at Hinckley Rugby Club. And Akko and Tommy came over to me. So they come over and they start to strike up a conversation. What's Kate up to? Well, nothing much as far as I know at the moment. Then Akko says, is Kate seeing anybody? No. Anybody on the horizon? Not as far as I know. And off they go. Akko's got a bit of a smirk, and Tom is hopping from one leg to another like a little boy needing a wee, trying not to laugh out loud. We all knew they'd got one over on me, but I wasn't sure what, and they haven't let me forget it. In hindsight, they were clearly fishing to see if I knew that Kate and Gaz were seeing each other, but at the time, right over my head.
Love you, Steve.
I'm not finished yet. As I say, I was watching Harry running around with his little friends. And you have to wonder what Akko and Tommy were actually doing there. They were looking for boys to groom. That may sound harsh, but how else would you describe looking for youths to ply with alcohol so they can bend them to their will? I'm not making any judgments. I just think we all need to know what sort of character Gaz hangs around with. But I finally heard about Gaz after Kate confided in her mother. Kate was concerned about what we'd say as Gaz was older than her, nearly my age. All right, but perhaps not quite that close. Anyway, finally we got to meet Gaz. Very different to Kate. So, you know, he was quite shy with us. Very different to Kate. Obviously, we found out he's an engineer in the aerospace industry, mainly involved in the manufacture of helicopters. Start worrying, Anthony. He's also recognised as a fine player on the local rugby scene with various awards to his name. I think there's a was in there somewhere. And obviously we saw more and more of Gaz and we all get on really well, so absolutely fantastic. Anyway, back to Kate. At the age of about 20, she comes home and says, I'm being left behind. I need a house and a mortgage. All my friends are buying. How old are your friends? 27, 28? Yes. Anyway, she insisted it was time for her to find her own place. Found a house in Burbage, very solid, good size, in need of some updating. A lot of updating. It was very nice, but it was like something out of the television series Heartbeat from the 1950s. Anyway, so Kate got the house, and as is the way of the world, Gaz moved in. And for a while it seemed as if Tommy had as well.
Oh, so glad.
The first bit of renovation of the house was creating a bar, which became a centre of local entertainment. Yeah. Yes. And is actually a potential record holder for having the most people in a confined space. Casbah, as was shouted out. Yeah, and it became so famous, you'd have people calling up saying, asking for directions, because they were there on Google or TripAdvisor or something, but they couldn't see the club and they were on a residential street. Yeah. If you didn't know, you weren't invited. Anyway, over the next couple of years, Gaz and Kate worked hard on the house, turning it from something well proportioned and well built, but stuck in the 50s, to something modern and contemporary in their own style, with rewiring, central heating, knocking walls down to make it open plan, new kitchen and bathroom, beautifully decorated throughout.
With plastering?
Yes. Yeah. Anyway. Anyway.
Anyone wants to go to Fit Club Saturday morning?
Anyway, they got around to doing the hallway, and I said I had some underlay that might be useful for the going under the flooring. And on Christmas Eve, last Christmas Eve, Gaz came round, and after a bit of the usual small talk, I went off to look for the underlay. Christine called me back, as Gaz had something to say. It turned out his real reason for coming over was to ask for permission to ask for Kate's hand in marriage. I said, she's very difficult. Are you sure you're doing the right thing? Yeah. Gaz agreed, but said that he was sure, so we offered our congratulations. Right. Just after this, while preparations were well in hand, I was in a class at the gym. I do go to the gym. Yeah, and I happened to be wearing an old tour shirt from when I still had to accompany Harry out on tour. I think it was for the under-12s. And a new chap there asked me if my lad was still playing. I said yes, he was now at Burbage, although he was currently out injured. This chap, who was clearly a front row rugby player, by the name of Tom, said he just started at Burbage. What was my lad's name? So I told him about Harry, and Tom said yes, I know all about him. I'm not quite sure what that meant. Anyway, we continued with the circuits. A little later, Tom got hold of me again and said, "Are you Kate's dad?" And thinking this was another Burbage rugby question, I said, "Yes, she got recently engaged to Gaz." Tom replied, "I don't know about that. I remember Kate from when she played for Leicestershire." So Gaz, for all your awards and legend caps, in the world of rugby, you're the second best known rugby player in your house.
It was only Tom Kilburn, that don't count.
Anyway, so Kate and Gaz are going on honeymoon in a few days' time, and Kate's a bit of a song worshipper, so they're going to hot and exotic St Lucia. But I've recently found out that Gaz is a rather nervous flyer. So Kate, you'd better get used to sun-kissed hotspots such as Skegness and Aberystwyth. Right, it's just a few thanks now. It's thanks to Terry and all at the Burbage Church today with the bells and everything. That's absolutely fantastic service. The team at Barnacles for the lovely venue and spread today. I think the food's been absolutely fantastic. Hope everybody enjoyed it. And the string quartet that we had at the church and at lunch. course, we need some extra special thanks for those who've done so much, friends and family who've done so much to help, some of whom are the bands. We've got Ricky in the sound, and Coxie providing entertainment this evening. On the photography and videography, we've got Josh, Mark, Chris and Sarah, thank you very much. Tash on makeup. And I know I've missed some that will be picked up in other speeches, and anybody that we all miss, I'm just really sorry. And obviously many thanks to Gaz's parents, Dave and Lynn, for bringing Gaz up to be such a gentleman. That's fantastic, thank you very much, well done. Yeah, so we're proud to welcome into our family. Right, but just getting toward the closing now, a bit of advice for the groom, given the benefit of my experience. Marriage is about patience and compromise. I've been patient and compromising for 28 years. Gaz, make sure you get the last words in any discussion. Those words are yes, dear. Yeah. And remember, whenever you're wrong, admit it. Whenever you're right, shut up. Okay, so proud to be here today. Kate's been so beautiful. I think everybody, you know, obviously bride's father, but absolutely stunning. Kate, you're absolutely fantastic. But I think, yeah. But I think Gaz is over there looking at his watch, which is a sure sign that he needs a drink. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I give you the bride and groom, Kate and Gaz.
Thanks, Steve. Pick up your mess, please, mate. I wish you'd have brought some of those jokes on the stag do. You're actually quite funny tonight. Anyway, we're just going to speak this straight on quickly, and we're going to hand you over to the main man himself, Steve. Not you yet. Gaz Frith, would you like to come centre forward, please? Ladies and gentlemen, the groom of the day, Mr. Gaz Frith.
So, thanks very much, Steve, for those relatively kind words. It was your chance to be truly merciless, but you chose not to be. Honestly, I'd really like to thank both you and Christine for welcoming me into your family. You really are great people, and both Kate and Harry are a real testament to your loving and caring nature. So I really can't thank you enough for raising such a beautiful woman, who I now have the honour of calling my wife.
Yes.
And a fantastic brother-in-law in Harry Bowler. Kate and I would also like to thank you so much for all your help and advice and support in organising the wedding. You've been fantastic, and we could not have done it without you. So thank you so much. We love you dearly. Next, I'd like to thank my mum and dad and the rest of my family for helping shape me into the kind of guy that I am today. Also the kind of guy that Kate would say yes to in the first place. But seriously, thanks so much for all your help and guidance over the years. I really am very proud to call you my family, as I hope you are proud of me. Both Kate and I love you very much. Then obviously thanks to everybody else, you know, our extended family and friends, for taking the time to come and celebrate with us today. Well, all of you mean the world to us, and we're so grateful for your love and support. We've enjoyed many great times with you all, and long may that continue. A few mentions for people that made today possible.
Get a bigger book, Gus.
Shut it. Reverend Colin for the beautiful service. David, Barbara, the team here at Barnacles for a fantastic reception. Mark, Josh, Chris and Sarah for the photography. Unity Strings for the music at the church and reception. Coxie, Ricky and the sound for some party tunes later on. And thanks to Tash for all your help with the dress shopping and the makeup. Also huge thanks to Clive and Meg for the decoration here, it looks incredible. Then it's Steve, the best man, and the groomsmen, Akko, Chris, Tommy. What can I say? Firstly, thanks for a great stag do, had a great time. Thanks also to the most welcome late edition in sunny Shotgun Robertson. Mainly for beating Akko in the clay pigeon shoot.
He wasn't even invited. Default.
But I'm most thankful to rugby for enabling me to meet such a great group of guys. To be honest, I would have had all you Burbage RFC guys here present today wearing groomsmen suits, but the budget wouldn't allow, and we'd be eating beans on toast, drinking warm beers at Casbar. So I hope you think we made the better choice. Seriously though, you guys really are the best I've met, and I'm honoured to call you my friends, my brothers. You've always had my back, whether that be on the field or off it, and for that I thank you, and we both love you very much. The bridesmaids, Foggy, Lizzie, Grace and Meg, you girls look beautiful today. And I'd like to thank you all so much, firstly for making sure Kate turned up, and secondly for all the love and friendship you've shown to Kate over the years, and to me more recently. You really are fantastic, and Kate told me she wouldn't know what she'd do without you guys. And we'd both like to thank you all for your hard work in organising the wedding and making the venue look amazing. Kate would also like to thank you guys for what she describes as the best girls' weekend ever. We really do love you guys so much, and thank you. So, ladies and gents, if you'd raise your glasses and join me in a toast to the groomsmen and the bridesmaids. Now, I've obviously saved the best till last. Kate, bursting with pride today, bursting with pride will be a massive understatement as to how I feel right now. I thought I'd seen you look incredible before, the first time I saw you, our first date to the Paolo Nutini gig where you got kicked out nearly. Countless parties and evenings out, but today you look simply sensational. Doesn't she look amazing, ladies and gents? You are quite easily the best human I've ever had the pleasure to meet, and I'm so honoured you've chosen to share your life with me. You've been a shoulder to cry on, a partner to dance with, an audience to my occasional stupidity. We have shared hours of conversation, hundreds of great meals and countless good times, some magical moments in music, some rather questionable TV and film choices. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Quite simply, you are my best friend, and I adore everything about you. I'm so looking forward to making many more memories together, so if I know what love is, it is because of you. love you always. Ladies and gents, a toast to Kate, my wife.
Wow. I didn't even realise that guy got so many words. Heartbreaking. Now for the one that we've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand you over to the best man, the best man, Mr. Stephen King. Keep clapping, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Stephen King. Thank you very much. Simple plan, guys. You guys be crap, make me look good. It went really wrong. There were two great speeches. Clink. Where do you start on these? First of all, we've got to start with reiterating what Steve says. So many people there have travelled far to come today. Like I say, we got France, Australia. Tommy and Daz came down from Scotland. Everybody's made a lot of effort, but there are people that are not here today that we wish we could be. Normally this is a toast raised for absent friends and family, but I'd like you to raise your glasses now and toast to absent loved ones who can't be here today. It's nervous.
Yes, Steve.
Thanks, guys.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Strap in. Or on. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Steve, and I have the honour today of being the best man. You want to go? What does it mean to be the best man? It means I'm the best looking. I'm the funniest. The most charming. Most full of shit person you'll meet today. I've got to start off by saying how absolutely stunningly beautiful you look today, guys. Only to be outdone by this angel. Kate, you're a wonderful woman. Deserving of a wonderful husband. And I swear I'll find out what went wrong here. I swear. Gareth Frith. Born October the 8th, 1880. Sorry, 1980. On the same day that Russia did some nuclear testing. It's probably unrelated. Probably. Known to his friends as the conversation assassin due to his dry humour and his perfectly timed wit. Known to other people as the old guy with a really fit mate Steve. At least I'm making myself laugh. Me and Gaz, we met in infant school back when we were small and innocent. Well, we were small. Well, Gaz was small. We went all the way through junior school together, through high school together, and it wasn't until college that we parted ways. But we didn't part ways for long because we met again in Burbage Rugby Club. We shared a passion in the rugby, not for the game, no, for the drinking and mischief and laughs we encountered after that pesky 80 minutes. And boy, we had some brilliant, albeit stupidity-filled nights out in our teens. Unbeknownst to us, just over the other side of town, his future wife was walking around. She'd just learned to walk then. She was a quick learner.
The rugby club are a strange breed. You look forward to drinking with these lads, but you got to get beat up for 80 minutes first. But the friendship, the camaraderie, and the experience you have can never be rivaled. The good times, the laughs, they make every bruise, every scar, and every broken tooth worthwhile. Your love for the club is unyielding. These beer-swilling, loudmouth legends, they make life better in every single way. The experiences me and Gaz have had range from thinking it was a good idea in Portugal to go on an all-day sesh before playing an international team, to think it was a great idea when the World Cup was on and it coincided with Gaz's birthday to meet in the pub at 6 a.m. and have a shot for every lager. That didn't go very well. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I, like any normal human, was on my sofa trying to make the world stop spinning. Akko would not allow that with Gaz. He dragged him and made him play rugby. I heard his tactic of assuming the fetal position and asking the bad men to go away. It didn't really work. Gaz, we've been through some great times together. And it is with you that I've had some of the best times of my life. You're also there for me at one of the worst times of my life. It can never be described as one of the worst nights I ever had. You turned up at my house with a kebab, proper friend, and a shoulder to lean on. You showed me I had a true friend who has never let me down. For that I thank you. This only goes to reiterate what I was saying about your love for the beer-swilling, rowdy rugby brothers. And it gets you thinking sometimes, what if they made these in girl form? Hi, Kate. From the get-go, you two had so much in common. Your love for rugby, your love for drinking, all the pitch obscure musicians you grew up into. You were meant for each other, and you brought out the best in each other. You both denied it was serious at the start, but myself and everyone around you could tell that it was meant to be. Anyone like me who's been lucky enough to spend time with them in their company knows a great couple they are together, perfectly complementing each other in every way. So many times in the rugby club, so many times in the rugby club we lose people. They find a partner and they disappear into the ether. This was never a danger with you. You became a welcome part of the Burbage family. Sometimes more welcome than Gaz. Just saying.
Why are you thinking we first start?
And as well as Kate, we gained another rugby brethren in her brother Harry. Harry and his massive personality. I can honestly say I've seen Harry's personality up close. And it's massive.
Harry, you won't be single for long.
Sorry, single Harry and his massive personality.
Get out!
On to the stag do. The stag do, we set 2 precedences. The first night with the most crazy alcohol imbibing hardcore mofos Scotland has ever seen. Managing 100 drinks before we even left the hotel.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah! We drank, we laughed. We drank McEwen's for the first and very last time. And we didn't go home till the sun came up. The second night, we were the most lightweight, soft, shandy drinking wetback Scotland has ever seen. Having completely overdone it on the first night. But between Big Chris smelling a sesh, Tommy not being drunk, Akko's immunity to hangovers, Sonny the shotgun's performance at the shooting,
You weren't even there!
Steve settling his differences with Flash Gordon, Harry remembering things that he shouldn't, Dave's disappointment at the lack of canoeing, and Gaz's self-proclamation that he was awesome, as we failed to kill him with all the shots. I really do believe we had a successful weekend and a good send-off for my friend. Kate, Gareth, I love you pair of pieces. And I can't thank you enough for having me be part of this amazing day. Gareth, you have brought me so much happiness and good times in our friendship. And you have been a constant and joyous part of my life. For this, I really do thank you. The irony of you asking me to be your best man is you are by far the best man I have ever had the good fortune of knowing. Katie Bear, thank you for being the best thing that's ever happened to my friend. I couldn't be happier for the tour. And if Gaz turns out to be as good a husband as he is a friend to me, you have a wonderful life ahead of you. It now gives me immense pleasure, not to mention relief, as the dust settles. To invite you all to stand with me right now and raise your glasses to my friends, the new Mr. and Mrs. Frith, Kay and Gareth. Romeo Dunn. Well done, Stephen, thank you very much. Hey guys, a big round of applause for Steve. The best man that Gaz Frith could ever have. Now guys, there's going to be a little bit of a change to the order of the day because we are running behind. The evening guests are turning up, so we're going to break out now. They're going to turn around the room, and then we're going to do cake and first dance with the evening guests a little bit later on. So, do what you need to do. Phoebe, if you need to wee, feel free. Do what you need to do, get some drinks, smoke, be jolly, and I'll be back shortly.